welcome to the Hughes Musings podcast. My name is John.
And I'm Carol.
We are the Hugheses, and this is the Hughes Musings podcast. And this is episode 4.
Ooh, 4!
We've been doing this for a whole near month.
Month, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
How'd you feel?
Yeah, I feel like my Scottish accent is slowly coming through and the phone voice is gradually turning down.
Last week, when I was editing, I definitely noticed it was a lot more Scottish. It was great.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll shine through and by the end of it I'll be talking normal.
Talking normal. Yeah.
So John, how's your week been this week?
Good. I was just thinking about it. Do you know what? I don't think I've done much this week. I sadly have very little to report. I can't even think what I did on my days off this week.
Well, on the Wednesday, edited and uploaded.
Yeah.
You've seen a couple of films this week as well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we went to cinema again this week, didn't we?
Yeah, and you've been yourself as well.
No.
Judy or something?
That was the week before.
Wow, this week has went fast.
Yeah, it flies by.
Wow. Yeah, and you're going tomorrow, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go again tomorrow and chance my hand at watching Terminator, which I'm not sure about.
Yeah, not for me. I'm glad you're going yourself.
Yeah, I there's a part of me that's like, do I really want to watch it? But yeah, just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did go myself, didn't I? I did. I went to watch Gemini Man.
So I knew you went.
Yeah, I went to watch that Will Smith film, Gemini Man, and it had that much impact that I completely forgot that I watched it. It wasn't terrible. I thought it was going to be awful.
Yeah.
But I was pleasantly surprised that it was watchable, if not good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's much better than what I was expecting.
But the technology involved, I don't know if you know much about the film, so it's like Will Smith now against Will
like
Smith.
A clone or
yeah.
a genetically improved clone?
Yeah, like we've all seen the trailer, so it's not going to be that much of a spoiler, but yeah, it's Will Smith now against Will Smith, young clone, and he looks a bit like he did in Fresh Prince, but then it's all digitally mastered, like they've recreated the face and stuff, and the technology's just not quite there yet. It's like they wanted to test the technology and threw a very menial storyline at a film just to test it, and it was okay. It was mildly watchable, and that was about it, really. So yeah, that's what I got up to on my days off. Went to cinema, did a bit of editing, and made some food, and that was about it, really.
Nice.
Yeah. How's your week been, Carol?
I thought you were never going to ask there, John. I was just
too busy talking about myself, having a wonderful time.
standard. But no, my week has been good. I started off the week a little rough. I think I was a little tired, little run down. But I've been a really good mood the last few days, which has been nice.
You've been singing and jumping about and being a bit crazy tonight. You're in a good mood.
Yeah,
That's good.
good. But I'm back to my usual self, which is nice.
Yeah.
This week I finished my blanket.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
So let's start with our inspiration corner. So a couple of weeks ago, I'd say a few weeks ago, but I've been doing it 4 weeks. But a couple of weeks ago, you told everybody about how you've been inspired to do the crochet.
Yes.
And this week, well, tonight. In fact, just before we came to record, you finished the blanket. How'd you feel? Are you chuffed?
I am so proud of it. It is gorgeous. I love it. A lot of love. Like, I know this sounds weird. Like, I'm not religious or spiritual in any way, but like every stitch, I was like, there was like good thoughts put into it. If you know what I mean. Like, it's like when I'm totally separate, but like, see when I'm like serving dinner for us, I'm like, this plate's for you because I thought of you while I served this plate. Yeah,
Carol's got this thing of like, when we're serving dinner to each other, you've got to think about who you're serving to when you put the plate together. So you give that plate to the person that you were thinking about when you serve that plate.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. But yeah, every stitch of this is I've thought about this couple and their baby. Because obviously she's pregnant. She's very nearly due. She's due in maybe 3 weeks or something like that.
Not long now at all, yeah.
And maybe 4 weeks, I'm not sure. But yeah, every stitch was made with love. And, you know, I just thought about them and their life while I was making the blanket. So, I mean, it might not be their style. It's a bold colour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they say thank you, fold it up and put it in a charity box, I don't mind. But it's just I want to give it to them knowing that, it was made with love.
I get you.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm always a fan of homemade gifts. Like, if I get a homemade gift rather than the most expensive gift, I'd love the homemade gift more.
Yeah,
There's something about it.
I haven't quite caught on to that with gifts for you yet, have I?
Well, what you used to do is buy me one expensive thing.
Yeah.
I am about quantity. I want 5 cheap things rather than one expensive thing.
Yeah, but okay, so when we first got together,
mm-hmm.
I think I used to make videos and record songs for you and things like that. I think I kind of threw it all in too early.
Yeah.
Because now when I do it, it's like, oh, you made me another video.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's been a while now, so I think I'd appreciate it.
The last one that I made was our first anniversary.
Oh, I loved that one.
Yeah.
I think we might post that to YouTube.
Have you still got that?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
I haven't got that.
Yeah.
I think that was edited on my old iPad or something.
Well, no, it's on your YouTube.
Is it?
It's just unlisted. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I will download it onto the computer and
dig
then
that out
upload
somewhere.
it, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll post that. Yeah, I posted. I gave Carol.
A wonderful gift.
A 1-year anniversary video that we watched drinking champagne in a hotel room in Greenock.
Oh, yeah, good old Greenock.
Yeah. So yeah, and the blankets, that's kind of inspired you to make a couple more now?
Well, yeah, because everyone I know is pregnant.
Everyone's just like, oh, we're having a baby. Oh, we're having a baby.
Yeah. So I've got another blanket that I'm almost finished. It was a much quicker blanket.
Yeah.
An easier pattern. The first one I made, it was quite intricate, but the second one, it's like a...
Yeah, the second one's more of
pattern.
a one-piece blanket.
Yeah.
The blanket that you just finished making was so many segments crocheted together, which was really difficult, I think.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many. I think it's 6x5 or something like that.
I would have to go and count it.
Yeah, maybe more. Anyway, yeah, the second one. So the second one is like a initial gift. It's not like a baby shower gift or something. It's just you told me you're pregnant and I was thinking of you. Here's a little gift. And then I'll make you something better near the time. Because they don't know the sex of the baby. They're still very early on in the pregnancy. It's just there's a little party going on, so I have to give a gift.
No, it's lovely.
Can't turn up to a party empty-handed.
I could.
You do.
Yeah. I wouldn't be empty-handed for long. There'd be a bar.
Yeah.
So that's our inspiration corner. So lots more to come on the crochet front.
Yeah, I'm going to give the gift on Friday, so I'll upload a picture after, because obviously I want them to see it first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now that I'm not doing the blanket anymore, I can do some of my painting that I want to do.
Speaking of inspiration corner, I actually had a little inspiration myself.
Woo! This is news
week.
to me. This is exciting.
This is kind of news to me, because I was just thinking and I was just looking over, and I haven't picked up my guitar and just played for quite a long time.
Right.
And it was really nice. I picked up and played for about 2-3 hours.
Really?
The other day. Yeah, while I was here, in between editing and things like that. I just wanted to take a break. And just sat and played guitar for a little bit, not for anything, not playing any songs in particular.
Yeah, not rehearsing.
Just noodling away, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that song, and played that. And it was just really lovely. So that was a really nice feeling. That's something that I haven't done for a long time. Just sort of pick it up, and it feels like my hobby again now.
Yay!
Which is really, really, really nice. And then somebody has sort of mentioned me putting some songs on the podcast.
Yes, we did get a request for that.
And I've looked into that, and I can't really do that.
Unless you do original stuff.
Unless I write songs.
But that's not really your thing just now.
I'm not particularly good at, I don't think. I have written songs when I was younger, but they were all a bit generic and pretentious. And now that I'm older, I've got nothing really to write about.
Yeah.
But
yeah, with the copyright and stuff, it's quite complicated.
Yeah, so posting songs on iTunes or Apple Podcasts falls within certain restrictions, and therefore I wouldn't really be able to publish them. But what I have looked into is the possibility of sticking some songs and some videos on YouTube, which I might start doing.
Oh.
Which isn't so bad. You don't have to worry about the copyright so much. YouTube has a system.
Because I'm sure there's loads of covers on YouTube and stuff.
There is. They have this system where they map off recognised songs.
Sorry?
Unprofessional. Somebody left their phone on.
Sorry, I'm just so popular. So popular.
Just throw in with the social medias. So before I was rudely interrupted by social media, so it does look like I will be able to post some songs via YouTube. So if anybody does have any requests...
Oh, me, I've got one.
So that'll be the first. But if anybody else has any requests...
I've got another one.
I'm sure you have, babe. Just let us know, and I'll try and post those up.
Yay! That'd be exciting.
Yeah, it's something to do, isn't it?
Sure is.
So I actually have a little inspiration corner, which is the old guitar.
That is good.
So yeah, I'll get on to posting some songs, which is good. I have lots of recording to do.
Yeah, you owe people some recording.
Lots of recordings, and they're like years overdue now.
Oops.
Whoops.
Well, now you're inspired, so get on it.
Yeah, I will. I promise. As we said, we went to the cinema this week.
Yes.
So for our entertainment bug, we are going, hopefully not to such an extent as we did with the Joker, but we are going to talk about the film that we watched this week. And if you don't want to hear any spoilers, we are going to be talking about Zombieland Double Tap. So if you haven't watched it and you're going to go and watch it,
skip ahead 10 minutes.
Skip ahead, because spoiler alert. So, we went to watch that on Sunday night. Did you enjoy yourself, Carol? Did you like it?
Overall, yes.
That doesn't sound as positive as you did last week with the Joker. What sort of taming your positivity?
Well,
about the
it's
film?
always hard with a sequence. Well, not a sequence. What's it called? A sequel.
A sequel, yeah.
I love a bit of sequence on the mind. A sequel, I think it's always hard because there's such like an expectation from the first one, and I love Zombieland.
Yeah.
I love it, love it, love it. It's one of the rare films I can watch more than once.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. Rule number 32, enjoy the little things. Love it.
They really played on that a lot in the second one.
Yeah. But the second one, I mean, it had some good jokes. I laughed. I love Emma Stone.
Yeah.
The other two characters I really enjoy as well. But the little sister,
Abigail Breslin.
yeah, I mean, like, love her. She's an actress. Well done her. Go you. Not a fan. Like, really not a fan.
No.
And I hate seeing, like, negative things about people who are, out there. Like,
I don't know.
doing
I
their
don't know
thing.
whether it was the character or just seeing her in that role again, but a bit older.
Yeah, she's not got, like, the cutesy
She kind of lost something endearing.
Yeah, she's at that awkward age where she's not cute, but she wasn't, like, a strong character either.
Yeah, like you could maybe feel that with the writers. They kind of wrote her out quite a lot of the film.
Yeah. And her character was going through a thing, and,
Yeah.
She looked too old to be going through that thing, though.
A little bit.
Yeah, but I don't know if
just
it's obviously because it's, like, a zombie apocalypse, delayed and all that kind of shit.
It just didn't quite sit right, did
No,
it?
it did not feel right at all.
And like I was saying, I felt like she just kind of, like, you didn't feel any empathy towards her. I like the whole way through, I was just like, I don't really care.
No.
About what was going on with her.
Yeah, there was no real story to the film. It kind of, as you said, it kind of fumbled through to the ending.
Yeah, I was saying this when we came out, that it was a really strong start, some great action sequences, really funny. And my favourite part of the film has to be Zoe Deutsch, I think is how you say it. The girl who played Madison. Mm-hmm. Thought she was brilliant.
Oh, just her in general. I thought it was like one of her scenes or something like that.
No,
just her.
just generally,
Her
I thought she
character.
was hilarious because it could have been a character that was instantly really, really annoying.
Yeah, like she was like the dumb blonde,
But it's
the
a lot
American stereotypical blonde.
It's a lot to
Yeah.
do with the writers as well, but I thought she just acted it really well.
Yeah.
Like, she was the dumb blonde, but there was something very endearing.
And
again.
she had a depth to her as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like a surface level comedy. It went quite deep.
Yeah,
as
it was
well.
funny. It was
Yeah.
like, she was really good and probably one of the highlights of the whole film for me.
Yeah, like the whole movie overall, like I enjoyed it. I laughed. There was some really funny moments, really funny jokes.
Up to the point where they got to Graceland, I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah.
And the bit in the house at Graceland, I was like, that's a really cool action sequence. And then after that, it felt like it ambled to a finish.
Yeah, I had to get to the next bit, but not get there too quick.
Yeah, like they filled it in a little bit
Yeah.
with them reuniting and not reuniting, and what's going to happen to Tallahassee, and it was, I don't know, it didn't. If the whole film was like that, if the whole film was about that, then fine.
Yeah.
But it's like they tagged in just an extra little bit of storyline,
Yeah.
just to keep that going to the end, so they can have some sort of gripping finish.
Yeah. I guess
So I really enjoyed it, and the action sequences were really, really good.
Yeah, and I laughed out loud a lot, and I felt like again that sometimes it was just me laughing, but I loved it. I loved it. It was really funny, really funny.
I thought it was excellent. Yeah,
But compared to Zombieland, obviously Zombieland is better because I mean that's the first one and that's just how it runs.
yeah, it's very rare to find a sequel that is as good as the first.
Yeah.
And I know if anybody listens to this and you watch films as much as I do, you'll probably have 100 examples where the sequel is actually better than the first, but it is a rarity. But I did feel like there was a lot of what you call fan service in there.
Like,
There was segments and jokes that you expected, and you kind of went, "Oh, I'm glad they put that bit in.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad they put that joke in. Oh, that's really funny." There was a lot of fan service there. There was
Yeah.
enough to keep you interested, and if they were going to go ahead and make a third one, I'm definitely going to go and watch that.
Yeah,
It was good
definitely.
enough for me to still really enjoy it. I will watch that again when I get the opportunity.
Might wait a wee while.
Yeah, and I realised that in the first week, we actually rated films.
Oh yeah, you had your plectrums.
I did. I had my plectrums.
That was your Netflix thing. It wasn't your film. But yeah.
But still, we rated TV series, films, things like that with plectrums.
Okay, let's do it.
So what we're going to do, first of all, I think we're going to rewind back to the Joker. That's the worst rewind sound ever. Oh, slayed me.
Slayed.
So we're going to go back to the Joker. And do you want to rate as well?
What did we talk about in episode 2?
I cannot remember.
I know we talked about the Bake Off. You talked about the island.
Yeah,
Okay, so what do you rate the island?
that'd be
A 0.
that'd be a generous 2.
Right. Well, I'm going to rate it a wee bit higher.
Yeah, because you really enjoyed
I
it.
really enjoyed it. I'm going to go with a 3.5.
So are you gonna have plectrums as well, or do you want your own rating system?
No, we'll be consistent. I'll use your plectrums.
Right. Okay. So you went with a 3.5.
Yeah.
For the island.
Yeah, because it kept me hooked. I was keen to see the next one, and it was a style that I really liked.
Even saying that name annoys me. The island.
Island. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and then it was the Joker.
Okay. I'll let you go first on this one.
I'm gonna give it a solid 4. I really, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Likewise.
Clever, yeah.
I think it wasn't quite a 5 and a 4, or not quite a 4.5,
Yeah.
but a good 4, a really good 4, and only for the fact that it's mainly centered around Joaquin Phoenix, and apart from that, there's not a lot of depth. Would be the only reason I
Yeah.
didn't give it any higher than
Yeah,
that.
there was a girl in work today or yesterday, I can't remember, complaining about it. Like, I wasn't in the conversation, I was just kind of listening in on this sideline, and she was like, I mean, why would you call it the Joker? Batman wasn't even in it. And I'm like, oh.
Oh dear.
I had nothing to do, but I didn't. I just
Oh, you
continued
should've.
on.
I would have gone in on that. I couldn't have helped myself at that point.
I wasn't in the
I
conversation.
beg your pardon.
I was just like walking by, so I kind of heard the one line of it. But,
Right.
yeah, she was like, "Oh, I hated it."
Oh dear. Because there wasn't enough Batman in it. No.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I would give Zombieland 3.5.
Oh, that is generous.
It was really good. It was funny. The action sequences were good. Ambled in the middle, took the rating down a bit. And I wasn't hugely impressed with the end. So it was really good, and I really enjoyed it, but I'm not going to rush out and tell everybody to watch it. So 3.5.
Yeah, I think I'm torn between a kind of a 2 or 3 kind of mark.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
Do you know what? I'll be kind. I'll give it a 3 because, as you said, what's her name? Madison? What was her name?
Yeah, Zoe Deutsch.
She was good. I love Emma Stone.
Yeah.
The other 2 guys, I don't even know their names.
Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, I like both of them.
Yeah.
And the doppelgangers I liked.
Yeah, that was a fun little twist, and it was like the perfect amount of time.
Yeah.
Like it was a
Didn't
scene,
drag it out
had
too
the
long,
introduction, and then there was a little twist bit, and then it was a really good action sequence done, and it didn't need any more of that. And I liked her as well, Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, she was really good.
She was good.
Yeah.
She's always good. I'm a big Rosario Dawson fan. I always have been.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'll give it a 3. It was funny. It held my interest.
Yeah.
But I probably won't watch it again anytime soon.
That's it. Yeah. So good film, but didn't rock our world.
Yeah. Bing, 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 bing.
What was that?
That's you inserting this thing.
I might leave that in. So, Carol. Oh! What's a moving?
It's all about the dollar. Jobs!
Dollar.
Yeah, how you going to earn that dollar?
So, Carol, how did you first earn your dollar?
Well, this is a kind of long-winded story, so I don't know whether to just start my story or just like do it briefly. How in depth should I go?
Go for it. Tell us about your first job.
Okay, my very first job was probably when I was a paper girl.
Right.
I sold the East Kilbride News every Wednesday after school.
Yeah.
So it was just once a week. And I think when I started, it was like 8p a paper I got.
You got paid per paper?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they had the same near me with certain kind of papers.
Yeah, because I wasn't hired through a news agency or anything like that. I was direct with East Kilbride News. So I had like a form I had to fill out of the addresses that I had done, how many papers I needed, and they would deliver it direct to my house.
Right.
And then I would obviously collect all the money, and then I'd have to pay them by like check.
So did you just do that round the estate?
Yeah, so I done it like up to the town centre. So I had like a couple of streets around my parents' house, and then like one long street that went down to the town centre. So behind Quickfit, so it was quite far to walk.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a big paper round.
Yeah, but I didn't do like every street between because there was quite a few paper people around me.
So you sort of
Yeah.
avoided other people's turf.
Yeah, and I remember I was so embarrassed because see when you first sign on to do it, they say, oh, if you tell all your customers, if you do it for a month, you'll get a free gift.
Right.
And I was like buzzing about that. I was like, just do it for 4 weeks and you'll get a free gift. I told everyone as I was going around door to door, do you want the paper? Do you want the paper? 4 weeks, free gift. So a month later, I get a big box delivered to the house of the free gift.
Yeah.
It was this tacky, crappy, bright red Velcro wallet
Ha!
that I had to give to these like adults who'd bought their paper for me for 4 weeks.
Not cool, EK News.
No, I was
Not
so
cool.
mortified. I went out and bought chocolates and gave it to the mom. Wee packets of chocolates.
All the money that you'd earned from doing your paper round.
By the time I finished my round, I think it was up to like 15p a paper. I done it quite a while, so. And I remember I bought a person was giving out the paper round. And I bought their door numbers from them, and it was like £30 I had to pay to buy their door numbers from them.
Right.
And then when I stopped, I just stopped. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, and just didn't sell it. Didn't tell anyone. Just stopped.
Just stopped. Bored now, not doing it anymore.
It was cold, it was wet, I'd done it for ages, and you didn't really make much money at
No.
all.
Doesn't sound like it. It sounds like you spent half your money on gifts.
Chocolates.
To apologise,
Yeah. And then around about the same time, my mum signed on to Avon.
Right.
But like I kind of done most of it.
Right.
Like I handed the books out. Like, we would do it together actually. We'd hand the books out together. We'd collect the books in together. We'd do the order together. Yeah, we kind of done a lot of it together. And I remember, like, at this point, I didn't drive, obviously. I was, like, 14 or something.
Right.
And Mum doesn't drive. So we had this, like, granny shopper. Do you know where it's, like, on the wheels? And we'd pack them, like, in reverse order. So the door we were going to last, we'd put in first.
Yeah,
and, like, pack it all the way up. And be out in the rain, like, collecting the money. We earned a lot of money doing
Avon's
that.
popular.
Yeah,
It's always
especially at
sells
Christmas time.
Yeah.
It was really popular. We made Mum would take a book into her work. We'd have all our streets, then my aunties and all that kind of thing. You know, they would kind of.
That's good. They say that, don't they, with Avon?
Yeah.
Like, build up your network.
Yeah, definitely.
It's totally like on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mum's work done well. She'd just leave it in the lunch in the
staff
room. I was like, lunch hall.
The lunch hall. We've got a lunch hall though.
Well, yeah, canteen.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
And then my dad, he had a shop, a toy shop. Well, comic book shop, depending on how you look at it.
So cool.
Yeah. So I worked there kind of like after school some days or at the weekend. My dad worked like 7 days a week. So if I wanted to see my dad, I went to the toy shop. And I'd play with like he had a lot of Beanie Babies.
Right.
And Pokemon cards and like all the stuff I was interested in. So I just like played there for a bit, you know.
Sounds good, yeah.
So I kind of
like you were working.
I worked
in inverted commas. Nobody can see us do that, Carol. So
I'm doing it,
quote unquote.
Yeah. And I like learned how to work the till and use the pricing gun and do stock and things like that with him. And then as he upgraded, it worked out that he got a cafe. He wasn't really. It was never his intention to have a cafe, but the unit that he got had a cafe in it, and he was like, why spend all this money converting it into shelves when it's a well-established cafe within the village? So I worked there. That was like my proper, like I had shifts, and I worked every Sunday.
So that was like your first proper job, but in a way.
Proper. Like,
in inverted commas
I was still under 16.
Right.
I would kind of like, they had a coffee machine, so I pressed the button to make the coffee.
Yep.
I washed all the dishes, cleaned the tables, and there was like a cake stand. We'd get like tray bakes in, and I'd kind of cut them up and serve out. So there would be normally my mum on a Sunday would do all the cooking.
Right.
So it was like soup, sandwiches, all day breakfast, toasties, things like that.
Sounds
I never
great.
never ventured into the cooking.
No.
I
You were
done
more
hot drinks, cold drinks.
Yeah, you were waitressing then, basically.
Yeah. So I got paid. I think it was like £20, £25 for a Sunday shift.
Right.
Which was like 11 till 4.
That's sound, isn't it?
Yeah, and I got my lunch and unlimited tea, coffee, cold drinks and cakes.
That's great.
Yeah, and I got to hang out with my parents. So
yeah, that's good. It's excellent.
Yeah.
That's
And then
the way
my
to
first real like wage slip job.
proper job. First
that
proper
I got,
job,
yeah. When I was like 14, 15, I wanted to be a primary school teacher, and all my guidance teachers told me, get experience with children, get experience with children, get experience with children. Like, that's all they want. So my old after school club that I used to go to, I wrote them a letter. I said, I want some work experience. Can I come in the summer? Blah, blah, blah. And I went down and they were like, oh yeah, you can come along. So for the summer, for like 4 or 5 weeks, I would go on trips with them, play with them in the club, come up with games and stuff like that. And then on my 16th birthday, they hired me. They said, you've got great potential. You're really good with the kids. Do you want to work for us? So the next summer holiday, when I was 16, I worked for them and I got a wage slip, and I got a little brown envelope with cash and a wage slip given to me every Friday.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's the coolest.
Yeah, and my very first pay that I got, I took my mum, my dad and my gran out for dinner, and I paid with my first proper wage.
Amazing.
And that was it, gone. That was my whole wage. So my first interview, I worked in a shop called Red 5. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's like the gadget shop. So it's like or that Mankind.
Yeah, Menkind, yeah.
Menkind, that shop, basically.
Right.
So it was like all these cool and weird and wonderful things. And I went for an interview. It was horrendous. Hated it. It was a temp job. It was only for like Christmas. And my first day, they said that I was lucky I got the job because everyone else was terrible and I was the best of a bad bunch.
Wow, there you go. That's one way to build up your self-esteem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
You weren't as bad as everybody else. Oh, thanks. Cheers for that job.
But it was just a pop-up shop, you know. I mean, it was like
Still.
people that shouldn't have been running the shop were running the shop. You know, it was like, oh, we've like, if someone wants to be a manager and they're like, well, you're not ready yet. Why don't you run this temporary shop and we'll see how it goes? You know, it was like all those type of people running it.
Sure,
Yeah.
I get you.
And we had this battery sale. So obviously everything you sell
The
needs
house batteries, yeah.
And it was Christmas time. So it was like, you buy 10 batteries, you got 10 free. And they were, I have to be careful, because I always say the condom company instead.
Duracell.
They were Duracell batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Not Durex.
You'd win it every week. I'd always sell the most. We had competitions to see if you could win the most. And then a store overall, every week, if you got the highest battery sales, you won money towards like a staff night out. And we won that once or twice. But I was always the store leader with the battery sales.
Get you pushing sales.
Christmas is coming up.
Yep.
You don't want to be opening the presents and you can't play with them.
That's the worst. That's
you
the
need
worst.
your batteries.
Yeah. I think that's a mistake that parents will only ever make once, you know.
What was your first job, John?
I think technically, yet again, mine would be same as you, paper round.
Yeah.
But I was all corporate. I worked for a newsagent.
Ooh.
In my little
I was
village.
self-employed. They done it for me.
Yeah, I worked for the newsagents. I didn't do it for very long. I got stuck on one of the harder routes of the paper round. I think I only did it for a few weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah.
It was in Wales, and like one of the houses was like halfway up a mountain. They had loads of dogs that used to chase you down the track on the way back out. It was
it every day or once a week?
It was every day.
Oh yes, yeah. Probably your every day added up to probably what I done it doing once a week.
Yeah. No, it was every day. Most
Before
days.
school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, would not have lasted.
No, we all used to meet up, go out on our bikes, like loads of like me and my mates.
That's
like,
cute, like in the movies.
Yeah, we'd all meet up in the morning, sort of we used to get those glass bottles of milk.
I thought you were going to say something else there, like have a joint or something. Where you're...
No, I was 13.
Well, wouldn't surprise me.
No, but we used, like we all smoked because that was life.
You were so cool. You had a bag.
No, it was that was just the way it was. Just we just were a bunch of little teenage smokers.
Bunch of thugs.
Yeah, so we used to just meet up, grab a bottle of milk each, and just sit and have a smoke. And
a bottle of milk.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, really weird village
was
kids.
Was it chocolate milk?
Yeah, we was no. It was
wasn't even chocolate milk.
chocolate milk and a cigarette. Oh, brilliant. Like, we used to just sit there and sort of catch up in the morning, pick up the papers, and then we'd all just go for the ride. And then they like, my other two mates had paper rounds that were relatively close together. So, like, their halfway point, they'd meet up again at the top of the village.
Cute.
Whereas I was, like, the other end of the village, up where the mountain is. So I never used to see anybody. And I have a really strange memory, actually, from that job. I was working that job when Princess Diana died.
Oh, really?
And I remember not knowing, because obviously we woke up really early in the morning, and pulling out the first paper and going to put it through a letterbox and seeing the headline. And I was like, whoa, that's nuts. It was crazy. Yeah, I saw it.
What year was that?
I was 13, so 1997?
Yeah, I was 7. Yeah, because I don't really remember it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was either 12 or 13, so it was 96 or 97. I think it was 97.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember that. I remember finding that out, which was weird. It was weird. I remember even at that age, it hit sort of impacting of being like, wow, that's crazy that's happened. And then I'd say I sort of.
You're right.
I I floated about in a couple of like bit jobs. I KP'd for a kitchen, just down like in the next village for a little bit. And I think my first if we talk about like proper jobs where you get a wage slip and proper
Yeah,
money and stuff like that.
On a rota.
I got a job as a kitchen porter and glass collector in a place called Ross-on-Sea, in a pub called the Cayley Arms, when my brother was working at Gaz.
Yeah, did he get you a job, your big brother?
Yeah, of course he did.
Aww,
He was my bruv. Sorted me right out. Yeah, so I used to work in a kitchen. I hated the chef. He was a horrible, ratty little man. He was so angry all the time, and it was just me and him working together. And he used to shout at me and swear at me, and he just wasn't a nice person at all.
Yeah, I've not really got many good experiences working.
No, it was pretty bad. He was a typical chef.
Sheila was a nightmare on a Sunday.
I cannot imagine your mum being Chef Sheila, shouting at everybody and swearing at everyone because things aren't going right.
No, I'm absolutely joking. She was a delight.
Brilliant. No, not all chefs are like that, but no, he was that stereotypical mean man. He wasn't a very nice person, unfortunately.
Oh.
But I really enjoyed the job, and that sort of inspired me to go into bar work, which I did for a few years after that as well. So while I was going through uni and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my first like proper job.
Yeah, so did you have an interview for that, or did Gaz just sign you up?
If I had an interview, I think it was like 10 minutes with the manager, which is a really cool guy called Lee. And he was just like, "Hey, you're Gaz's little brother. You look big." I was like, cheers, because I was a big guy, you know. I played rugby at that point, and you know, I was a big kid. He was like, yeah, might be able to get away with you having you behind the bar, because like life was different then. You could get away with it a little bit. And he was like, yeah, you can start. Why not? And that was my interview. And I do have one nightmare story when it comes to interview. Oh yeah, I went to a phone interview, a job interview for Phones for You.
Oh, yeah.
And I really wanted the job.
Right.
And the interview was in Bangor, which, when I was living in the village, was quite far away.
Okay.
Used to sort of have to get a bus and a train to get to Bangor.
Blech.
Yeah, so it was a long journey, and I got there really early, so I totally psyched myself up for the job interview.
Yeah.
And I just remember about halfway through thinking, I am the most awkward human being on earth.
Oh, no.
And I actually remember fist pumping myself in the middle of the interview going, "You're a dick."
Yeah.
Like, I did it and I was just like, I've not got this job. And you could see, I full on, in the middle of the interview. And I was just like, yeah, I've not got this job. That was a nightmare interview. Like, if anybody's ever watched Spaced, that bit where she goes for an interview and goes, "Girl power," and puts her fingers up and feels that awkward, that was how I felt in that interview. I always know how she feels because of that interview. It taught me a lot more. I got much better at interviews after that point. So, but yeah, that's my nightmare interview. It was hilarious looking back at it.
Yeah, like I have had a lot of jobs over the years just because of the work we had. We'd be home for a couple of months, so we'd pick up like temporary jobs.
Of course.
And I've always been quite successful at my interviews because I would like apply for one or two jobs, go for one or two interviews, and then get the job.
Yeah.
But recently, when we recently came back, I applied for every single job that had the word childcare in it. Got quite a few interviews, and went to quite a few interviews as well. And
finding jobs is hard now.
Quite a few. Well, it depends what you're going for. Like, I've been really lucky that I've got qualifications in childcare that are still valid. And it's a requirement now. You must have a qualification to work in childcare, and this although childcare is there's not as many children as there used to be. There's a higher quality of staff, and it's quite if you're good at your job, then you can get a good job. Yeah. If you've got experience behind you, which I'm really fortunate that I do, that I kind of dipped in and out of childcare kind of ever since.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It is good, but finding work is difficult these days. Like the process of finding a job has really changed.
Right.
Like in the time that we were working abroad and came back to the UK.
Yeah.
It's changed massively.
Yeah, I did notice that kind of the first, because quite a lot of time I'd come home for winter, but only a little bit of winter because I'd work quite a lot of winter. So when I came home, I was just off.
Yeah.
So I did go a few years. Yeah, so before I left, I'd kind of like hand my CV out at the town centre.
That's
to, like,
what I'm
every
saying.
job.
It's changed so much. Like, gone are the days where you'd pick up an application form in a shop or hand your
Yeah.
CV in and have a chat with the manager while you were there.
Yeah.
You know, I miss those days. Like now it's all adding your CV to job profile sites and
Yeah,
getting on
online and stuff,
LinkedIn
yeah.
and doing all that malarkey shite.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've had a few contributors
Oh yeah.
again this week. We've had some write-ins. Whoop, whoop,
A few shout outs.
whoop, whoop.
So who have we had commenting in?
So
I
my
think
mate,
they're more your people than my
yeah,
people.
my mate Kevin Maguire wrote
Come on,
in.
Carol people.
Hey, Kevin. So Kevin wrote in saying that his first job, he got at 14 as a car valeter.
Yeah.
I think that's a tough job for a 14-year-old.
I mean, I can imagine it now. Like, see the road I drive to work. There, you go by a car wash, and I can imagine there being some young teenagers in the summer that kind of work there.
But that's a tough job. That
Yeah.
I think that kind of job instills a work ethic.
Oh yeah, you're sulky.
Yeah, and I think so Kevin's quite a successful guy. Like
Yeah.
he's got a good job now, and he's got a fair amount of money. You know, he does well for himself, and it's because he works really hard. He's good at what he does, and he works hard. He dedicates himself to his
Nice.
job, and I think that comes from
I've only seen him from the thespian side,
yeah. You've only seen him as an actor.
prancing around the stage.
Yeah, but no, he works really hard, and he's a good guy, and I think that comes from having that work ethic instilled very young. Who else wrote in, Carol?
Got Jenna.
Jenna. She is turning into our regular contributor.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I think she might be #1 super fan.
Love it. And
Her job is amazing.
yeah,
Wait, do you
her
hear what
first
her
job
first
is
job?
awesome. Is awesome. So what was it, Carol?
It was a veterinary assistant.
Yeah, I dropped her a message just to sort of, because I was quite interested in like
Yeah.
how did that end up being your first job, and she told me that at that point she was thinking about becoming a vet.
Yeah.
And she wanted a bit of experience, so she just walked down to the local vets and was like, oh, have you got any positions available?
She was really lucky, yeah.
And they said, oh yeah, well, strangely enough, we've just got rid of our Saturday girl, so you can come down and do some work experience. So she did, and then that work experience turned into a little part-time job, which went from there. I think that's amazing.
That is
That's such
amazing.
cool first job.
Yeah. If you love animals, if you want to be a vet, like, definitely.
Yep.
So what does she do now?
So Jenna is a teacher.
Ah, teacher.
Yeah, so she went from, oh, I want to look after animals to, oh, I want to look after children and
Yeah.
mould
Is
little
she
minds.
a primary teacher? Or do you not know?
I'm not actually totally sure.
No.
I probably should know, which I feel really bad about. But I know Jenna's a teacher now.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah. And we did have another person write in.
Yeah, Gaz.
Gaz. That's ambiguous, yeah. My biggest brother, well, my biggest little brother.
Yeah. He's the littlest of the Hughes clan.
Aye, we're like Russian dolls. We'll just look the same, just different sizes. So yeah, my older brother Gaz, he wrote in asking for, requesting that I tell a story.
Ooh,
Is that right, Carol? Because I didn't actually see the message. You saw it.
Yeah. Oh, I've not got it up. I'm sure it just said John's disciplinary. I don't even think it said anything else.
Right, okay. So I think I know what Gaz is on about. So we worked together, all three of us. We worked at Weatherspoons, me and my other two brothers. We worked in Weatherspoons in Llandudno, which is the Palladium, if anybody knows it. And one day in the middle of an afternoon shift, and it was me and my brother Dave working. It was pretty quiet, but Llandudno's were always quite an interesting mix. There's a lot of like older people in Llandudno, but then you get some interesting characters around there as well. And in the middle of the afternoon, just after our lunch rush, I noticed that the bin, this was when you could still smoke in pubs, and the bin outside the bathroom and the gents, which was, so if the bar's the bottom floor, the bin was on the third floor right at the top.
Okay.
And I noticed it was smoking because it used to be a theatre, so it's a big, tall building, you know. And they've like taken all the stage and everything out, so it was literally just a huge space with two like step bits at the in there, and then both sets of toilets on either side were on like the third floor. And I noticed that the bin was on fire, so I went running up and grabbed the bin. And in your training, when you start at Wetherspoons, you were told, don't say the word fire. There was like a code name for it, and I can't remember what it was. It was a Mr. Brown or something like that. I don't know what it was supposed to be. But yeah, there was like a code name for it that you were supposed to use instead of saying the word fire. And in the heat of the moment, because it wasn't very busy, and it was only me and my brother working, and I found it hilarious, I picked up the bin under my arm and ran down the stairs and with my best Arnie voice impression screamed, "Get out! Get down! It is a fire!" And everybody started laughing, and my brother was literally hanging off the pump because he couldn't stand anymore because he found it so funny. And then I was yelling at all the old people going, "Why are you laughing? It's not funny! There is a fire! Get down!"
So, did your brother report you? Like, how did they find out?
I think one of the locals found it so funny that they told the manager, but like laughing about it, and then the manager reported that to another manager, and it was the best disciplinary I've ever had.
Yeah.
So there was a manager who was in charge of disciplinaries, and he was a really good guy. And he sat down with his most stern face, with this report in front of him, reading it off the report, and he went, "John, did you pick up a bin and shout, 'Get down, get down, there is a fire, why are you laughing?'" And my response was, "Yeah, but I did it in an Arnie voice, so it was funny." And you could see him desperately trying not to laugh and smirking. And yeah, the basic result of the disciplinary was, "Don't do that again, John, please."
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was one of my proudest and worst moments in work at the same time.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, so that's the big Wetherspoons disciplinary story.
Yeah, I've had quite a few jobs over the years.
Oh, I've done a bit of everything, me.
Yeah, so like list off in one word each occupation. Like not a story, just like list off.
I don't think I could.
Okay, so I was a paper girl, an Avon girl, as a shop assistant in my dad's shop. I was a dishwasher in my dad's cafe. Sales assistant at Red 5. I was a waitress and I worked in the bar and also like the function bar in a hotel.
Right.
I worked in the after school club, and then I was an au pair in France.
Right.
And then I was a private nanny in Scotland and then England. And then I worked abroad as a nanny, a chalet nanny.
Yeah.
And then I worked for Tui.
Uh-huh.
And
you
then
met my beautiful face.
Yeah, I was a nursery nurse, and then I was a childcare supervisor. And then I worked care in the community, and then I worked at a residential care home for old people, and now I work in a nursery. And I think that's all the jobs I've had.
Right. Okay, I'm going to try and reel some stuff off as quickly as I can.
Okay, yeah, this is on the spot. This is not prepared.
It's quite a lot, right. Barman, cellarman, doorman, labourer. I worked in a nursery, not a children's nursery.
A plant nursery.
A plant nursery, yeah. I worked there for a while. That was great. I've worked in fast food factories.
Wow.
Where you pack like microwave meals and stuff like that. I have
Worked in a supermarket?
worked in a supermarket, both like on the floor and on checkouts and all sorts of different departments. I have worked as a cocktail barman. I have worked as a bar manager. I have worked... Where did I work when I was in uni? That was mainly retail, actually. I worked in a bowling alley for a while.
Nice.
That was really cool. That was really fun. I worked at a cinema for a little bit.
Yeah.
I've worked as an actor, a writer, a musician, a singer. I worked as a workshop leader, so I was a tutor. Mm-hmm. I was a workshop leader, so I used to run drama groups. I was a teacher. I was a singing teacher and guitar teacher for a while. And and I've done all sorts of things.
Yeah, you worked for a charity as well at one point, didn't you?
Oh, I did door-to-door for charity. That was the worst thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
That was horrific.
Block that out.
Now I work in finance because I'm a weird guy.
Yeah.
And I will do
You're
whatever somebody pays me to do.
Yeah, jack of all trades. So we have a new segment this week.
We are. We're introducing new segments.
Ooh. And this
So what's our
one-
new segment, Carol?
Well, this is not the official name because I've not thought of the name I'm happy with.
Right.
But this is the game of the moment.
Okay, game of the moment.
Because I want something that's like game of the G. But I don't know a G word that means moment.
Nope. I haven't got anything.
No. But I don't want to commit to like game of the month or game of the week or anything like that. So it's just the moment.
Okay.
So my game this week, this moment, is... Can I have a drum roll?
Yeah.
Penguin Smash!
That's such a disappointment for a Penguin Smash. Nobody knows what Penguin Smash is. What's Penguin Smash, Carol?
So you've probably seen it because there was a video of Philip Schofield playing it last Christmas, I think.
Right.
But it's like a hexagon, and there's like lots of little hexagons, and there's a penguin standing right in the middle, and you've got like a little hammer, little ice pick,
Yeah.
and you've got to like hammer out the little hexagons of ice, and then if the
Right.
penguin falls, you lose.
Yep.
And you played it, and you enjoyed it. We had so
played it
much
last week,
fun. We played it
and
for ages.
It was great because we had a couple of drinks while we were doing it. We had a laugh, and it was funny because obviously, as you've had a couple of drinks, you're kind of trying to be dexterous. It was
Yeah, so I was getting like braver, wasn't I? And then
Yeah.
I would like lose, so then I'd like do the safe option again.
Yeah.
So you like spin a little spinner, and it's either like you have to get a blue one, get a white one, get one of each, or miss a turn.
Yeah.
So at first, when you get miss a turn, you're like, I got miss a turn. But obviously, it's the last person standing, so you're like, yes, miss a turn.
Yeah.
It's going. What do we call the penguin? I've forgotten now.
I can't remember.
Yeah, Jason named the penguin, but I can't remember the name.
You did.
Anyway, that
We'll
is the
have to check
game.
with him.
Love it. So I bought it from The Works. They have all their games just now are 2 for £10, and they've got loads of knockoff board games. It's amazing.
Noise.
Yeah, I got Pictionary, which is called "What Are You Drawing?" or something like that.
I love it. What are you drawing?
Yeah, something like that. It's like a segment name I would come up
the
with.
most literal possible name. What are you drawing?
Yeah,
I love it.
that's our new segment for this week. We had a few lovely comments.
We have,
we?
and
The one from your dad melts my heart.
yeah. So we
I think
did.
he'd be okay with us saying it.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say exactly what he said,
No.
but it was really, really sweet. And it kind of, I don't know about you, but it made me think, well, this is why I wanted to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the exact
obviously
reason we wanted
John's-
to do this.
Yeah, John's dad lives in Wales, which is quite far away from us, so it's a nice little link, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's keep
And
in
I'm
touch.
thinking, because I'm going to be travelling for a week at the end of next month.
Yes.
I'm going to go and see my dad, and I'm thinking I might take a computer and a microphone and do an interview with the Al.
Yeah, record a little segment with Al.
I'm thinking about doing a
That-
full interview
Oh, for real interview.
with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do it.
yeah. I'm going to try and convince him. So I know you're listening, Dad. So I'm coming to get you.
I'm gonna get you. Oh yeah, Al's got some cracking stories.
Exactly. So
He
I want to do a
does,
full interview.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I'll give him a couple of whiskeys and we'll get a proper interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've come to the end of our podcast yet again.
Yeah.
Aw. But thank you very much for listening, and see if you've made it all the way to the end to hear the website.
This is why we don't get any visitors.
Yeah, because no one makes it right to the very end. But our website, if you want to go and have a look, we'll have our pictures up of our our week and some of the things we've been talking about.
Yep, it'll have some anecdotes on there, some pictures for what's on your plate.
Which we didn't talk about this
which
week.
We'll pick up again next week.
Yeah.
It'll have all the episodes on there as well.
Yeah,
as
so
well as...
a lot of people have said to me, oh, I don't listen to Apple Podcasts. What can I listen to it on? So you can listen to it on our website, which is...
HughesMusings.com.
or our YouTube channel.
Which is...
youtube.com/Hughes' Musings.
Something like that. Just go on YouTube and look for Hughes' Musings.
Yeah.
It'll be there somewhere.
Or it's linked at our Instagram and our Facebook, which
Yeah,
both
we
are...
post them out every week.
Yeah, they're both at Hughes' Musings.
Yeah, so come and check us out.
Yeah, we reached 100 likes on our Facebook page.
What? Thank you to those 100 plus people who have gone ahead and liked that. And if you haven't, get on it, bro.
It means a lot. And also our Instagram as well, if you're more into that. And there's kind of more chilled out stuff. And a lot of questions are on Instagram.
Yeah, we've had some Instagram comments and things like that this week, which is great. So thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah. And next week, it will be our Halloween-themed episode.
Yep, so we're going to be talking about Halloween costumes, Halloween parties.
Trick-or-treating stories.
Yeah, old trick-or-treating stories, all sorts of things like that. So.
And I will have some amazing pictures of my costumes over the years. I am well into Halloween and love dressing up.
Yeah, it's like Carol's favourite, I hate to use the American term, but holiday?
We can go for his favourite, but I thoroughly enjoy it and embrace it completely.
Is it not your fave?
Christmas?
Nah, I think you're more into Halloween.
I've already been told off twice for singing Christmas songs.
That's usually by me.
But yeah, if you could join us next week as we amuse
about Halloween. So thank you very much, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Chat to you next week.
Bye.